Oh, I think we're up. There we go. It's in record. Hey, g'day guys. It's Paulie here with the Magic Moments movement, and I'm here with Rory Toomey. We did try to go live today, and apologies for everyone that got on to have a listen. We had technical difficulty, so we didn't quite make it. We did persist, but it didn't quite work out. So we've actually joined each other tonight via Zoom, and I'm going to get this up tomorrow in a post, which you'll be seeing now anyway. But the Magic Moments movement is all about inspiring healthier living and more conscious living. And I just like to get guests on to share anything around related to health, beyond, as I say, the exercise and nutrition as we're all sort of, tuned into as what health is, but just the bigger picture of what health is. Rory Toomey is an architectural genius, right? He's a dad. He's a dad of two. He's the husband of Dina, his wife Dina. He's an inspired lover of music and a musician himself, and he's actually in a band. He drums in a band. He's an amazing friend, and we actually met Machang through music and dance.
I'd say so.
Yeah. And I think we might be going back to 2002, maybe. Or
yeah, I think it was probably the first day of 2002.
Yep, first day of 2002 at Splash, at a party out at what swimming pool was that, mate? That was
at Alfred Park before they renovated it.
Yep. Yeah, it's a good thing they renovated. So we met there, and that was...
It's beautiful. You wouldn't recognise it.
Yeah. It was a good meeting. So that was, look, let's be honest, that was a dance party. It was different days back then, wasn't it, for us? But it sparked off a friendship, and here we are today, having, or going through each other, having kids and becoming husbands, and friendship that lasted longer than it should have, based on the circumstances of which we met. so
you never can tell.
No, so mate, what I wanted to do is I wanted you to get on here because it hit me. I was actually, I'll be honest with you, man. I was playing in the morning some Bob Marley, just getting the boys ready to get them out the door for school, and I went, music. We haven't had anyone on sharing around music, and music's totally for me anyway. It's definitely one of the pillars of health, right? And straight away you popped into mind. And I thought I've got to get in contact with you and see if you'd be open to doing this. And you said yes, so I was stoked. So what I want to do is have a little chat to you today about what music is for you, being a musician. Obviously, you don't just wake up and decide I want to be a musician. It's been brewing since whenever, from the stage. So the question for you is when did your love of music begin, and what was it? Was there a significant thing that ignited that passion? Was it maybe a band you were listening to in your youth? Did Uncle Joe hand you a ukulele? What was it that got that going for you?
I think the first album that I remember really blowing my mind as a young kid was Sgt. Pepper's by the Beatles. It had such a variety of feelings and atmospheres, musical atmospheres on it. But there was something about that album when I was, this would be when I was maybe 5, even, maybe my son's 5 now, so maybe Marlu's age. Hearing that record, and I particularly used to love the actual, like the title track, the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band track, and the way the beat used to kick in on its own, and then the music used to come in, and there was something about the drums that just did it for me. And I think I knew when I was pretty young that I wanted to be a drummer. Midnight Oil as well as a kid. I remember my older brother had Midnight Oil records, and I remember this one particular babysitter I had when I was, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8. And, she and I set up telephone books on the floor of the lounge room, and with wooden spoons we played them like a drum kit. And I used to sort of
that's the 80K and the other's end.
Mate, I think we had from the front phone and the back phone, we had 4 of them. So but,
yeah, nice. Good babysitter.
Putting on Midnight Oil, Head Injuries, the second album, which is a heavy record. It's like for a 7-year-old to be getting off on it. You know, my brother's 8 years older than me, so he was handing down some pretty weighty stuff, you know. And, I was up for it. Like I used to go to record stores and buy stuff that my older brothers and sisters turned me onto, and the people in the record store, they wouldn't believe it was for me. So yeah, I was getting into some growing up music pretty early on. I mean, I went through a big phase of Kiss, loving Kiss, you know, and it's funny because I've grown out of every aspect of Kiss except for Peter Criss, their drummer, his playing still really does it for me. Every other thing, like the lyrics and it's just I just don't dig it anymore, you know. But I can still listen to Peter Criss's drumming, and it takes me right back to why I wanted to play the drums in the first place.
Right on. So this is going way back, way back.
Yeah, like I didn't have my first drum lesson until I was 9, but I wanted that moment to come a long time before that. You know, like I was really I was doing piano lessons, and I just wanted to be playing the drums. I just knew that the drums was going to be the right thing for me. And once I started learning and I got access to a set of drums to play, it felt so right to be there. You know, it's like,
mate, the smirk on your face tells, shows the truth in the story there, man, for how that feeling was for you. I was going to ask you, besides obviously the audio pleasure that music gives, you know, for you, how does music impact on you positively in terms of your health? Like for you, what does it bring to your health? You know, either listening to music or playing music.
I can't really define it. It's my life without music, and the joy that listening to music and making music brings would be, you know, I can't imagine it. It would be barren. Like every single moment of my life, I listen to music all the time. I listen to it walking to work. I listen to it at work. I listen to it coming home from work. I get home. If there's no music on in the house when I get home, the first thing I do is put music on. You know, I used to always be the DJ in my old office, and if I'd go out for a meeting and I'd come back and the music would start playing and the office would be silent, and I'd go, "What's wrong with you people? Put some music on." You know, like life is better with music.
It's age old. It's tribal, isn't it? Really, music. You know, yeah, like I mean, before the mass evolution of music came along, was tapping sticks together. You know, I mean, drums would have been one of the original musical instruments, right? Close to clapping. Yeah, clapping. Yep.
Making a sound.
Yep.
You know, like everyone's body is an instrument if you want it to be. I've seen some amazing percussionists who don't have any drums with them. All they do is play the sounds that, you know, they can make with their own bodies, and it's wild.
Yep.
For me, there's also something about the physicality of whacking things with a pair of sticks and with my feet, you know, where generally I rehearse with my band on a Wednesday night. Usually by the time you get to Wednesday night, if the week's going to slap you around a bit, it's started doing it already. And, you know, we can walk into that studio, no matter what's going on outside, everyone just kind of gets their gear set up as quickly as possible. We start to play. As soon as we start to play, it's all gone. It's all evaporated for those few hours, you know. We have this beautiful portal that we step through into this world where nothing matters except the moment of creating music together. And, you know, life and parenting and family and kids, and my parents are getting old and a mortgage and got a car needs service. There's, you know, all of these things, they pile up on you, and you know, you can't turn off the thoughts. Now, when I play music, all the thoughts about that stuff just goes. I don't think about any of it.
We did a live last week, week before last week, and I chatted with a guy, Murray Hatton, around meditation. He shared with us what meditation was, and I asked a question that probably was a bit of an open-ender, troublesome, and ease the minds of others and everything in between. But I asked him what meditation actually was, and he sort of came down to the space of, or place of, anything that's going to sort of allow you to focus on you and put everything else aside for the moment. So for some, it's that sitting position, legs crossed, hands in lap maybe, and thinking about your breathing. Someone on that live put in, hey, for me, it's being on my boat, you know, feeling the ocean breeze. And everyone sort of, it seemed like people had their different, but what I took away from him was it's a place where you find some calm, inner calm. And
Peace.
yeah, crazy, because I was almost afraid to say, man, it's like meditative, isn't it? Because then I thought if I do that, I'm going to get a whole lot of people commenting saying it's not meditation, meditation is this or that. So, but look, regardless, man, it's a place where you, it seems, or what you're sharing, it's a place where your worries are gone and you're with yourself, very current, very present.
I think
and happy.
There's another parallel with meditation as well, and that is I attempted the sort of, you know, the lotus position, focus on my breath, clear my mind of extraneous thoughts. You know, it doesn't work for me. I'm a very restless intellect. You know, my mind's always looking for something to think about, and I'm always, which is why I have all these different activities and hobbies in my life, so that I give that restlessness focus. But I guess the parallel with spending 1979, I had my first drum lesson, so that's coming up to 40 years ago, and I've been playing continuously for 40 years, and you know, I'll be 50 in a couple of years, and I've been playing for 80% of my life. And I've been applying myself to playing for 80% of my life, the same way someone training, learning how to meditate, seeking enlightenment would apply themselves to that process. And I guess the reward that I get for those years of doing it and for applying myself to it is very similar to what an accomplished meditation practitioner gets. When I sit down on the drums, I can sound pretty good without having to think about what I'm doing. My body and my limbs and whatever subconscious processes are going on in my mind, they know how to do it without me needing to be consciously telling them what to do.
Yes, I like that. I get what you're saying, because if my eldest plays drums, he's in the senior band at school, he plays drums, he has his drum lessons. Before he even started on drums, when we had a kit before lessons had even started, I could show him beats, I could out-drum him. And he was wowed. Just like when you first show your kid how to ride a bike or skateboard, you wow them. They can't believe what you do. And very quickly, he just very quickly surpassed me, right? So he's showing me beats. So whereas before when I was showing him stuff, he was trying to work it out, count it out, and I was just doing it naturally because it was real basic. He's now doing things just very naturally, and if I want to try and learn that, I'm trying to count that out and get it happening. It's very unnatural. So I hear what you're saying. Tell me, when did you start jamming with your friends? So you started playing drums at 9, although you were doing piano for a couple of years before that.
Yeah. I started piano at 4 or 5, and I did that for a few years, and then this guy came to my school, just to my local primary school, and he offered ensemble classes. So there were 10 of us in a room with a practice pad and a pair of sticks.
Oh yeah, the black pad.
Yeah. And he was teaching us all the rudiments and everything. And we did that for a term. And my mum came to pick me up from one of the lessons at the end of the term, and he was finishing up with the ensemble thing. And he just said, look, your son's really into it, and I'd like to offer to give him some private lessons. So anyway, you were going to ask something else about playing live.
No, I just, when did you, by the way, mate, I remember that rubber, that was a heavy disc too, that rubber pad, wasn't it? No, I had the big one. It was terrible. What do you do with that? But when did you start jamming? When did you start, like when did it move from the practice pad into you feeling like you were part of the drum kit? You know, it was your sacred place, and then having your first band together, you know?
Let me finish one thing on the previous thought, sorry, about the meditation before I it just occurred to me. What I realised with playing music is that for me, that's the fastest way to get into that place, right? Where all the extraneous thinking just goes away.
Yep.
And I get to be doing something that I love. And often, I guess, on a really good session, like particularly with the band, in the band situation, you actually don't remember that it's you playing at all, and you just almost feel like you're watching people doing it, you know, and it's sort of like an out-of-body experience.
I was just about to say that sounds totally out of body.
So it's a wonderful feeling when that happens. With this band I'm in at the moment, that happens quite often because we rehearse really a lot. We work hard, so we get to that point where it almost seems to be driving itself. Look, I had a really lucky experience as about a 12-year-old. I had my drums set up in my parents' garage, and I was making a racket in the parents' garage. And these three guys came and stuck their heads under the garage door and said, "Hey, we need a drummer for our band." And as it turns out, those guys are some of my best mates. I've been friends with them since I was in primary school, but I hadn't seen them for a little while because I'd gone off to another school. We were in, year 8 at the time, I think, when this happened. And they knew it was me, and they came around to my house, and I was playing in the garage, and they said, we want a drummer for our band. We haven't got a drummer. We've got bass, guitar. But that bass player is Dean Sutherland from Skunk Hour, so he's one of the best bass players in the country now, and from an incredible band. And the guitarist was Pat Davin from Grinspoon. So these guys that I was jamming with as a teenager, and we were in this band together, they're great musicians. Like I was playing, we were all kids at the time. No one knew what they were going to go on to do. But as luck would have it, I was playing with some of the best players in the country. So we were in this fantastic band. And, so I started quite young. I was 12, I guess, when these guys came and knocked on the door and said, let's play.
And so what was that? That was a muck around that lasted a year, 2 years, 6 months?
Dean moved up north with his family after a couple of years, so then we had a different bass player. But no, it went right to the end of high school, so that was all through year 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
And was that actually playing? Was that playing to public in any way, or was it just you guys evolving and learning to be musicians working together?
All of the above. When we got a bit older, we started getting some underage pub gigs, and we played at some like outdoor festivals and school functions and stuff. But we'd also play at friends' parties. If a friend was having a 16th birthday party, we'd just go and sit up in their backyard and just turn it up, just go for it. It was fun.
Yeah. And so and now for the last 4 years you've been in another band that's come together. Yeah,
I was lucky again. I guess my son was about maybe 18 months old, and my first, and I hadn't been playing a lot. I'd been very kind of preoccupied with being around and being dad and busy and everything. And then I got a call from another friend who was a few years in front of me. My daughter had just turned 5, and I hadn't seen him for a while, but I knew he was a good songwriter. And he said, I haven't played out in public for a few years. I've been writing some good songs. I want to put another band together. Do you want to play drums? And I said, yeah, sounds good. I'll be up for that. I said, who else you got? And there's just you and me so far. And so off we went, and we looked around and found a bass player to join us. And then a few months later, we got a second guitarist, and we've been that lineup of 4 of us for the last 3.5 years.
Awesome.
And it's been
awesome.
And it's great. I mean,
yeah,
we're all at the same stage in life. We're all dads. We've all got, busy jobs and commitments and everything. So the band is this beautiful, it's like a men's shed, like you hear about these men's sheds projects where they get, lonely guys out of the house to come and, socialize and do stuff and do projects, and it's good for their psychology. And it's just like that. We catch up once a week. We talk to each other. We ask, we talk about what's going on in everyone's lives. Everyone's good. How is everybody? And then we just sort of just focus and make music together. And
do you know, man? I'm so glad we're having this conversation, because this is shit I don't think about, and that is it's when we sort of started this, what was pointing out was the physical. You know, you said you had the hands and the legs were going, and it became natural. So it's physical, right? Then as you spoke on, it turned to me, you know, just the smirk on your face, like just talking about it, I can see the joy it brings you. So obviously it was a happy heart place and space, you know, like you know, your sanctuary, you know, like as we talked before, meditative place, you know. But now you're talking the headspace, you know, like as in the psychology, you know.
I think a lot of people would agree. A lot of people would agree that music has transformed the way they feel at one time and another, you know. For me, I had a really rough patch from about when I was almost 19. It sort of started to kick in, and it lasted right through my 20s, battling with episodes of depression and also really kind of heavy anxiety as well.
Is this where is this the music saved your life, Hannah?
Absolutely, man. Like
we were chatting before. You mentioned before we even went to record, and I thought, no, wait, let's just have this come out.
Look, I think it's not too strong to say. There was one, and I remember it really well. I don't think I was ever really the kind of person who was ever going to commit suicide, but I went to some pretty low places where I thought about it. And there was one particular day I remember, and I was driving across the Harbour Bridge, and it was raining, and stuff was going on in my life that was really getting me down, and I couldn't see my way through it. And I was watching the oncoming headlights, and I was just thinking it would be so easy just to go under a truck and just end it all, you know, in my little car, just smash and be all over. And I was seriously thinking about it. And this song called Move On Up by Curtis Mayfield came on the cassette I had in the tape deck. And it's this very uplifting song and a beautiful message, you know, where he says, move on up towards your destination, though you may find from time to time complications, right? It's this really funky early 70s, beautiful piece of music. And it was seriously like the guy was reaching out of the speakers and going, wake up to yourself, mate, you know, come on, keep going, don't be stupid. You know, it was a great moment. I'll never forget it.
Mate, I'm so seriously, out of my heart, grateful that you jumped on because of all the conversations we've had over the years. Because we met on a Disco Vicky, well, for me it was anyway, event. I thought you were as well. I think it was a couple of years later than when I learned you weren't. But then very soon after that, we met under circumstances. Say again?
I'd overindulged the night before.
But when we reconnected again, it was to go surfing, and it was at a point in my life that wasn't good for me. It wasn't good because one of my plans in life was about to not work out, and it's interesting of all the conversations that we've had over the years. I didn't know that about you. And
look, it's not one you just tell at the pub with people you just meet. You know, it was a low moment, a really low moment, and you know, like I guess the things that shape you in life are the extremes you go to. You know, like the lows and the highs. The very super joy, like, you know, we all remember the moment when, you know, you proposed and someone said yes, or, you know, when you graduated from that really difficult course of study, or, you know, some fantastic highlight. But then we're also shaped by the stuff you just have to get through, the stuff you have to survive. And I guess
I hope you haven't frozen there for too long. Come back to me. Come back. No. Come back. I'm just sending you a text message.
It happens all the time.
Machan, you froze at highs and lows. You were talking about the highs and lows.
I've lost you, Paulie.
You've lost me now. I've got you, fella. I can hear you loud and clear. You there? I can hear you. Bugger. Oh, we're getting technical difficulty. I can hear you. I'm just texting you. I can hear you, but you've got your phone on silent. I know that, airplane mode.
What's happening?
Can you? Oh, you're frozen. Oh, bugger! Because I had one more question for you.
Your video's frozen, mate. I can't. I can see myself. Hang on a second.
Can you hear me?
It's very strange.
No, you can't.
I've never used this thing before, so I don't know what to do now because I don't recognise what's going on.
I'm having the same thing. You're frozen. I can hear you. Oh, bugger. Bugger.
Matey, I'm not sure what to do.
I'm hoping that you might pick up your phone right now if I call you, which I don't think is going to happen because I know you're on airplane mode. So let's just see if we can work this out.
G'day, you've called Rory.
No.
Please leave a message.
I'll try to call you again. I would love to, if we can, wrap up with this question I had for you.
Can you still hear me?
G'day, you've called Rory. Please leave.
I can hear you, mate, but I can't nod at you because apparently my screen's frozen for you. Well, we had a good shot at it anyway, didn't we? I can't help you out either, mate, on this end, to be honest with you. You back? No? Bugger. All right. I reckon I'm going to have to wrap it up there. I did want to know, you know what I'm going to do for you guys, anyone that's watching this recording, I'm going to actually put my last question to Rory in the comments. But then, you know, that's going to be a long-winded text for or typing for him to do. But listen, I guess what I took away from this was that music is and can be a place of sanctuary, a happy place. It's physical, it's psychological, it's emotional, and there he's gone there. And let's see if he comes back on. Actually, let's just see. Yeah, and it's just you know, it's without a doubt from the conversation I just had with Rory. It's definitely one of the pillars of health. If you have appreciated what Rory was sharing just now, please like or love or put a comment in there. Just let him know that you appreciate him giving up his time and sharing what music is for him. And if you've got any questions, throw those in as well. But thanks for jumping on and watching this post, and hopefully you got some value from it. Cheers.
I'm back.
Oh, are you?
I'm back.
Are you back?
I just found you again.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Oh, hang on. Okay. I'll see if I can. There we go. Try this. Yep, that's it. We're back. We're back. Game on.
Unreal. Thanks, mate. Heaps for trying. You know, I just sort of wrapped it up to say thanks to everyone, for anyone that's watching this post. But I did want to ask you this before we finished up, and this is my thing, and my final question, I guess, if you like, is from all that music has brought to you, has given you, you know, has gifted you in terms of feeding your soul and bringing value, you know, to your life. Is there a gift that you try and give to people listening when you're playing and making music?
I thought about this when you sent me the question, and there are two answers. One is just to be authentic, like to not fake it, never fake it.
Love it.
Just you know, I guess the corny way to say it is play from the heart.
Yeah.
And if you're not feeling it, don't pretend to feel it. And that's number one.
I love that, mate. I love the number one because it's actually I'm slow in everything. So at 46, I'm just learning that that's the way. Did you just take that to Dirty Town? That comment?
No, this was like, you're not slow at all, man. You're so lucky.
I'm slow to go, but at 46, I've learned that that's the way I need to be leading my life. Authentic and not trying to please people, and just you'll attract who you need to attract by just being you. Yeah. So I really love that's what you do with your music, because
Absolutely.
Bang on.
And then I guess that you get, when you do that in your music and people dig it, then you get the confidence to do that throughout your life. You know, you apply it everywhere. Where you go, you know what? I'm not going to waste time trying to pretend to be person X, Y, or Z. I'm me, and there, take it or leave it. And you know, I've been blessed with meeting so many great friends over the years who validate me for who I am, that I don't feel the need to be anybody else, thankfully.
Yeah.
But that's definitely the number one thing with music for me. And with listening to music, it's the number one thing. If I don't feel it, if I don't feel that the artist is genuine and that they're really communicating from a very deep place, then I usually don't relate to the music, or I don't feel an affinity with it.
Yeah.
It doesn't move me.
Yeah.
Sometimes electronic music really moves me, you know, where there's no one speaking or playing a guitar or playing a keyboard or whatever, but it's just, you know, it's been put together with a kind of intensity of intention, you know, and you can feel that intensity when someone's produced something, you know, with it, with that kind of intense feeling and emotion. It comes through no matter what the medium, whatever the musical medium. So number one is that one about just truth and authenticity of feeling. And then the second one is just give everything, you know. If you don't leave anything on stage, you know, like they say to sportsmen, don't leave anything, or, you know, sporting people, don't leave anything on the pitch. Like, just give everything. The same, like with a gig or with a recording, or even with a rehearsal on a weeknight when everyone's tired and we got work the next day, you still bring your A game to every sit down, you know, because it's just what you do.
I love it, mate. I love number two as well, because that's another listen, it's another way in which you should just walk, isn't it? Not just in your music or in your sports, but just how you should walk and be.
I would put to you that probably everyone you've spoken to through this little program of interviews has the same level of passion and intensity about their special subject as I do about music, you know, like, and that's the reason why you've chosen them to talk to, because you know that you're going to get answers that will resonate no matter what the subject matter is, whether it's music or it's meditation or it's nutrition or it's health or it's fitness or it's strength or whatever it is. If you talk to a fanatic, you're going to get stuff that will resonate with everybody. You know, you're going to get down to the nitty-gritty, what it means to be human and to care about something.
Yeah.
You know, and
love it.
I mean, if there's a parting thought for your listeners with regards to music and what music brings to life, you don't have to be a musician and you don't have to be accomplished. Music can bring joy to anybody, and I see it with children, you know, with really, really young kids, even babies who are just starting to stand up, and music comes on and they start going,
oh yeah, they're bounce, yeah, oh yeah.
They can feel it right down to their bones, and it just, like, my advice with music is just get into it, just surrender to it, whatever it is you're listening to or whatever turns you on, just get into it, because it gives you so much back. Yeah, you know, it just brings so much joy. And seriously, like, health is happiness. Happiness is health. You know, and if music makes you happy, then that's healthy. Yeah,
well, mate, I was pretty sure that music was a pillar, one of the pillars, and chatting with you tonight has absolutely confirmed that. You know, I fully appreciate you jumping on and sharing what you've shared. To sort of wrap this up, as I always ask people to send through a like or a love or comment if they appreciate what you've shared. What I'd love to do on this one is maybe ask anyone that's watching to maybe comment put it in the comments, put in their favourite band and or favourite song or bands and songs. I'd love to see what everyone's listening to. And as daggy as you want, yeah, absolutely. Because I might just see one there that I go, I need to have a listen that I've never heard of, or I can't believe I've forgotten about that.
Also, that's the other thing with music. Forget about the cool place. Like, if you dig it. Just don't care what anyone else thinks of it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
They used to call them guilty pleasures, but some of the stuff that I've got into as I've gotten older that I would never have listened to as a kid because I thought I was too cool. It's you realise how much you miss out on when you're young.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Oh, actually, you know what? I had people buy in. I had people start putting down their faves in the comments and open my mind up a little bit and my heart, obviously. So, hey, Machang, thanks heaps for jumping on. Really appreciate it. I'm going to throw this up on my page tomorrow, and hopefully we can add some value to people's day. So thanks again, man. It was good talking.
Yeah, you bet. We'll talk soon.
Goodbye.
Okay, bye.